Hello everybody, how are we doing? It is the 48-hour analysis. We're going to take a look at all of the new Rust skins, see how they're performing after 2 days since their Rust rotation, and we'll get a good idea of what potentially might be a good thing to invest towards, make great profits, and, well, you get the idea. We are a financial perspective. We care about trying to make some more profits with all these new Rust skins. Could this potentially be something that's going to be a profitable week, or is it a case of we might be better off putting our money towards something that might be appearing next week? Because next week, the first Rust rotation of 2023 is also a white day, and we potentially might be seeing some very interesting things being accepted. But let's not stall for too long. But I do also want to say I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I hope you all have a very nice Happy New Year's as well. Hopefully you all have a very nice 2023. I'm sure plenty of you have been enjoying the post-Christmas times. With all of these skins going up in price, I'm sure you've been making very nice profits as well. So, yeah, I hope you've all listened to some of the things I've pointed out, learned from what I've said, and, made some very nice profits. Hope you've bought things that you really wanted now and whatnot. But most importantly of all, thank you for everybody that's subscribed. I have over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube now. Yes, there's ads and whatnot, but, am I allowed to have some ads? But yeah, I'm trying my best to help you all out, and then you might by now realise I do say quite a lot of the same things, but Rust is so routine. There's so many patterns that keep happening every single week. Once you become aware of it and you can relate and reference things that happened in the past, you can take advantage. You can put your money in at the right time, and you can walk out with a very nice profit. And with the state of my accounts as of now, it's looking pretty good. And I'm still selling very nicely. Let's just verify that. Am I still selling very nicely? I'm still selling very, very nicely. So, yeah, life is pretty good in regards to sales. But is it the end? Well, let's talk about this first, and then we'll talk about other things afterwards. So, let's now start talking about all the new skins that just appeared this roster rotation 2 days ago. We're going to talk about the Blue Lotus Box. Right, so this was the one skin I was very confident in based on the fact that when you look at all of the small boxes skins that we've had in the past, there was only 3 of them that were below $2. Now, some more have appeared below $2, unfortunately, but when you compare it with, well, just take a look at all of them. There's so many of these small boxes that are selling above $2. So yes, this might be an abnormal skin, selling at an abnormal price. If this is supposed to sell for $1.49 on average, but this one's selling for $2, you might sit there and say, oh, that potentially might be a problem. True, but with the amount of sales that I'm seeing here and the current state of things, the cheapest small box is only $1.28. So if you're considering only wanting to do buy orders, doing a $1 buy order is looking super safe. Like, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we do want to actually look at this and think, right, is it potentially a good thing to put your money towards? So let's go take a little look at all of the most recent small box skins that we've had this year. So plenty of these you might notice sold for $1.49. Small box right here, the ice small box, sold for $1.99. That appeared at the very beginning of the year of 2022. That sold for $1.99. Now it's selling for $4. So yeah, could we see a very similar pattern from what we saw here happening here? Because quite literally almost exactly a year later, we saw this come out. And if this doubled in price after literally just almost a year, could the exact same thing happen here? And then what we also want to point out is this also glows in the dark. Now you might sit there and say, surely that'll have an impact. Well, we've had these two unfortunately not do very well. Neon Hearts does glow in the dark as well, and that's doing very nicely. But what we could also add is the context of this is a very gimmicky Halloween skin. It's not Halloween, so it's struggling a bit. And Smouldering Box, people just don't seem to like Smouldering Collection that much. It's just the way it is. But yeah, and then you see some of these other skins. Yep. So it looks like small boxes don't really go up insanely in price, but they do seem to hold their value, and they do seem to be fairly okay investments. Overall, it's quite rare to see them go below their prices that they're sold in a Rust store. So this right here, still looking to be a perfectly fine thing to buy, but I'm probably going to be sticking with the fact that it's abnormal. I'm going to do my buy orders first, and then I'll consider making a purchase. But right now, if I had to buy something, it probably would still be the Blue Lotus box. But I'd rather do a buy order on it first because it is abnormal, and then on Thursday I'll make a consideration if I want to buy it as well. Let's now move on to talking about the Bombshell AK. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm going back to this. The author is apparently making a large box. So someone asked, any potential large box in the works? Yes, you can subscribe to the workshop, wait for a new works. So yes, apparently this Blue Lotus collection is going to be increasing. So there's going to be a large box next. Could we see even more things? Could we see some more glow-in-the-dark Blue Lotus deployables? It very likely could happen. So if that does happen, I wouldn't be surprised if that small box only gets more valuable, more in demand. So, yeah. Sorry to cut away from the Bombshell AK so much. I literally just remembered that I had to point that out. So, always remember to look on the workshop page, look on the comments and see if people have asked the author themselves, the skin creator, are you going to make more with this collection? And it definitely does look like that's about to happen. So, keep an eye out for the Tuesday Workshop Skin Checks video. Right, now we'll talk about the Bombshell AK. So, this is a TGG skin. This was 100% going to be accepted. Bombshell skins are TGG skins. They appear every 3 to 4 months. And, and you can see it here. So, this came out in December, this came out in August, this came in April, this came in January, this came in August last year. So, yeah, they appear every 3 to 4 months. Now, major problem. This is an AK skin. And we've seen far too many AK skins just this past year. In all of 2022, how many AK skins did we see? A little bit of trivia. Right, what's your answer? Because the answer is 27. Right, so how many of them are in the positive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these AKs are in the positive. Now, if I'll be honest with you, I think hunting assault rifles being pumped a bit. But yeah, when you look at all of the AKs that have come out in the past year, only a small number of them have actually managed to get into the positive. If you look at 2021 skins, you got 1, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, you got 5, you got 6. So you got 6 there. So yeah, we are noticing quite a pattern where AK skins just don't really hold their value, and especially with the newer ones, they kind of just drop down instantly to around $1. And the reason why it sells for around $1 is because of metal prices. What usually happens is if a weapon or a tool skin gets too cheap, people would rather just turn it into metal and then sell the metal. So yeah. Usually metal always sells for around $1. So that is why most cheap weapons and tool skins will just end up being literally barely just above $1. So that's the answer for that. Now, because we've had so many AK skins fairly recently, this Bombshell AK is looking to be a bit awkward. It is a complete collection, and I'm surprised we haven't had as many weapon skins. Like, I honestly expected more, but looks like maybe we'll see another Bombshell deployable in the near future. Maybe we'll see just more weapons, I don't know, but yeah, it being a AK, that's why I'm not super confident with it. So yeah, even during the good times, the likes of the LR300 still isn't doing very nicely. That's awkward, isn't it? So yeah, my answer is I'd rather just do a buy order, and it's most likely going to be 70 cents to 90 cents. It's not abnormal either, so it's not really something I'm going to worry about. Now I'm going to talk about the JPEG pants and hoodie, the hoodie to pants. Right, so the main thing that you should be cautious about is keeping in check how many sales the JPEG Clothing has had in comparison to the Tier 2, mainly the kilt. Because remember, hypothetically, the best armour that you're going to wear is the Tier 3 with the kilt and the hoodie and the pants, right? And one of the problems that we've seen in the past is where the newer core pieces that get accepted end up selling too much in comparison to the already existing ones. So this road sign kilt right here had just over 11,000 sales from what SCMM can track. Now, after just 2 days, the likes of the JPEG pants are already just over 8,000 sales. This is looking to be a bit of a problem. Now, I get the feeling we're probably going to end up between 13,000 to 14,000 sales for these two, but that still will be a fair bit over 11,200. Now, we do still have, hypothetically, or we will see I'm confident we will see some tier 3 version 2, because the original JPEG tier 3 was put on the workshop. I'm sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. Originally, back in September, we saw tier 3 being submitted, but it wasn't accepted. But I wouldn't be surprised now if GBG returns and makes a version 2, because that's literally the last core piece that needs to be accepted. Now, if that also gets accepted, and if that also sells to the equivalent number of what the clothing sells for, then the kilt will become more valuable. But if the tier 3 doesn't sell as much as the clothing and is more closer to the kilt, then these two will be going down in price more. So keep in check with these. These are the awkward ones. Will they definitely go up in price if we do see tier 3 being accepted? Yes, that will definitely happen regardless. Even if these were oversaturated, they still would go up in price if these were accepted. But this could also, in the position that we're in, it could mean that the kilt could only get more valuable. It's a funny situation, alright? But just keep in check. If we end up at like 15,000 sales for each of these, then there is a problem. That's oversaturation. There's far too many in circulation in comparison to the kilt. Because if you were to consider, right, what is the most, or in terms of complete sets, what is the most that you can have? At the moment, it would be 11,200 and something, because I'm pretty sure we're going to either equal to it or we're going to go above it ever so slightly. So when we get these as well, I mean, the best thing I could probably show you is what I was worried about earlier this year. What did we have? We had the Skullkiller collection, didn't we? This is a good example. So Skullkiller collection, we started off with the tier 3, then we got the hoodie and the pants, and then we got the tier 2. Now, it started off with the tier 3, face mask sold 18,500, and the chest plate sold 17,300. When we got the hoodie and the pants had 22,000 sales, and these two actually started to suffer because there's too many in excess bought in comparison to these two, because these had 18,500 and this had just over 17,000, and both of these were over 22,000. You get the idea. There was an excess amount of like a few thousand, and because of that, more of them were appearing on the Steam market. Problems were happening. But what eventually happened was we then did eventually get the tier 2 being accepted, and even though these had quite a lot on the Steam market, they still went up in price. They still went up in price when this appeared, and after that, then they all went down, which was unfortunate, because people just didn't care too much about Skullkiller, it seems. But now that we're in the good times, now that it's post-Christmas time, all of this is in a positive. Very nice to see. And even these have recovered. But when we're back into the average and bad times, I wouldn't be surprised if these go back below their restore price again. So just keep an eye out on these things. This is a routine thing that happens all the time. As a collection progresses with the core pieces, you have to always keep in check with the sales of the previous ones when the new ones appear. And this did suffer because there was too many purchases. But yeah, the saving grace was this appeared, and they still did go back up in price. But when all of this came and went, these went back down in price, and yeah, it all suffered for a while. So yeah, in the meantime, just be cautious about how many sales the hoodie and the pants have. I'm sure I've said this more than enough. I'm sure you get the idea now. Let's not dawdle. Let's now move on to the tribalized SAR. So this is a cool looking SAR, the first skin to be accepted for Kozlov. Very nice, good job to you, good sir. And recently we have seen quite a lot of SAR skins being accepted. Much like with the AK, we've got a bit of a problem. So in all of 2022, we've had 18 SAR skins. Previous year we had 14, and in the previous year we had 11. So SAR skins are becoming more of a common thing to be accepted, and that also leads to a bit of a problem, because when there's far too many being accepted, there's far too many options, we become oversaturated with options. But when you look at all of these SAR skins, you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3, you've got 4, you've got 5, you've got 6, you've got 7, you've got 8, you've got 9. You've got 9 out of 18, so you've got like 50-50 for positive and negative. That's okay, but that's only during the good times. How bad do you reckon it might be when we're in the bad times? If you remember, back in November when we were looking at all of these SAR skins, all of them were in the red. All of them were in the red, even the blackout SAR. That was negative 30% at one point. So, yeah, I'm a bit cautious with this. It's not looking like it's going to be something I'm going to buy. I'd probably just stick with doing a buy order. But, yeah, we're going to be in the good times for maybe another 2 weeks, and then it's going to go down. As we enter February and March time, we're going to go down. And I wouldn't be surprised if this sells below its rush door price. So I'm just seeing ahead of time, and I've seen it all happen before. I'm cautious, and I'm thinking I'd rather see how many of these sell than make a decision. But at the moment, I still think it's going to struggle. Because, again, I go back over to here. I shouldn't have closed this. My apologies. Some of the recent SARs didn't sell that much, did they? Like the Banger SAR, that only sold 6,500. And even now, it's still below its rush door price. The Military SAR only sold 7,500, down 28%. The Recycler SAR only sold 8,600, it's down by 25%. So, yeah, number of sales probably would be a saving grace, but even then, these didn't sell that much, and they're still below their rush door price by quite a significant amount. So, yeah. So, yeah, looking like it's going to be a safe $1 buy order, maybe up to $1.30, but it's not abnormal, so we'll just save that until Thursday to make a consideration, but at the moment I'm not super keen on wanting to buy it. Right, now we've got the pizza bandana and a poncho. So at the moment, I'm pretty confident with the bandana. I get the idea. Sorry about this, I should drink some water. Sorry about that. I am sticking to my point where I've seen many times in the past a bandana that's part of a collection usually goes in the positive, but a bandana that isn't part of a collection will go down. Now, also, it's very silly. It's literally a pizza slice wrapped around your face. That I think that's looking to be perfectly fine. Now, what we should also consider is it's only got 6,000 sales after 2 days. This looks like it's going to have less sales compared to the Pixel bandana. I really do think this is going to probably have a decent future due to not so many sales, and it's goofy, and the fact that people have asked Mr. Jimmick, hey, are you going to be making some more pizza skins and whatnot? And yeah, it definitely seems to be leaning in, yes, he will be. Here, is it going to be over here? So, I know some people have asked him. He even commented on a YouTube video. So, yeah, he definitely wants to make some more pizza skins. We don't know what it might be, but if the collection continues, then the pizza collection probably will be becoming more in demand and, well, more pricier because of that. So, the sales looking to be what helps it out most. Like, especially with the Pizza Poncho. People are being very unsure. Wait. What? Oh, sorry about that. I've clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, this hasn't sold that much at all, the Pizza Poncho. And I really do think it's a case of people learn from the past. When the ponchos sell at ridiculous amounts, they struggle. Now, some of them have recovered quite nicely, but a lot of the other ones have not. So I feel like this actually might be in the positive in the near future, simply because it just didn't sell that much. It's also abnormal. So both of these are abnormal as well. We can do our buy orders on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, we can then consider on the Thursday, right, maybe we should probably buy into these. I think these are going to end up around 10,000 sales each, and that's going to be a good thing for us, the investors. So yeah, that's actually looking to be pretty interesting. I would actually sit here and say, buying some pizza bandanas, if you had to buy something, buying pizza bandanas probably wouldn't be a bad idea. It's actually looking to be fairly okay. The ponchos are a problem still because we had so many ponchos being bought and introduced this past year, so we'll just leave it at that for now. And then we have the prototype saw. So, sword skins, salvage sword skins, haven't been doing very nicely this past year, have they? Katana sword, down 29%. Chris sword, down 35%. Let me remind you, right this instance, we are in the good times, we are post-Christmas times at the moment, and these two salvage sword skins are struggling. They aren't doing very well, and that's the problem, and that's the unfortunate future I expect for this prototype saw. Now, you might sit there and say, oh, but it's only got 5,400 sales. True, but the Chris sword only had just under 9,000 sales, and it's still struggling, so, you know, it's unfortunate, but that is the way it is. But, you know, we could also probably take a look at the Steam page, and there's less than 100 on the market, so okay, and then how many of them there? Not that much resistance, but I guess that would be a sign of people just don't have the demand for it. Like, there's no demand for it, people aren't buying it, people aren't using it, people don't care for it. And yeah, I get the feeling we potentially might see the same problem with this. Now, if you're going to run around with the Lumberjack DLC, then maybe you would want to use the prototype SAW, but yeah. Obviously, this was made in reference to that Lumberjack DLC, but I don't think people are going to be clamouring for it just to use with the DLC. I mean, yeah, it's awkward, but based on what I've seen in the past year with the other salvage sword skins, I'm not super confident with it. It's also not abnormal, so I guess it's just a case of we'll just do a buy order instead. So yeah, this week has been fairly tame. I'm surprised to see only one of these skins above 10,000 sales after 2 days, but again, I think it's because so many people spent their money on the previous Rustle rotations, the Christmas ones, and they probably bought out a whole bunch of other skins on the Steam market itself. JPEG AR's doing quite alright. That's something I do want to point out. With more interesting skins, with more core pieces being accepted with the JPEG collection, the weapons have actually gone up in price because of it. JPEG as a whole is actually looking to be pretty good at the moment. So thank you very much, Hoodie and Pants. This is what you did. And if we do see these being accepted, as a version 2 of course, then I'm pretty sure it could go up even higher. Especially the likes of the kilt. I really do think that's potentially going to be doing some very nice numbers soon. So if you want to think smartly, wait until the JPEG kilt kind of goes down a bit in price as the spike in interest of JPEG collection goes down a bit after we've just seen these being introduced. So maybe give it a week or two. This is probably going to be selling between $2.50 and $3. I'll probably buy a bunch more of these. And then when we hopefully see the version 2 of JPEG Tier 3 being accepted, then the kilt most likely will probably bounce up to maybe $4 to $5, maybe even higher. But I get the feeling that's a strong possibility. And there's only like 50 on the market, aren't there? Yeah, 50, quite literally. And no resistance, no problems, no issues. If another 10 or 20 of these sold, we'd be looking at this going up to $5 already. Damn. So, it's there. It's right in front of you. Maybe consider it. That's an option for you. So yeah, this is this week's skins. How about we quickly take a look at the likes of the Christmas skins? Are they doing all right at the moment? Christmas has kind of wrapped up. Well, damn, that's already down by 26%. That's down by 5. That's down by 10. That's down by 6. Oh dear, oh dear. Down by 12. What about the week 1 skins? How are they doing? Oh, down by 7, down by 15, down by 35, down by 17, down by 26, down by 26, down by 30. Yep. Yep. It's not Christmas, is it? And as we enter January, these are probably going to go even more down in price. So, yes, that is to be expected. What about December 8? What about the skins from back here? Yes. So there's been a lot of interest in Frog Cosplay Hoodie and Pants because we did see the likes of the gloves and the boots being submitted last week. So people are under the assumption surely we're going to see some Tier 2 and some Tier 3 armour being made and submitted soon. Well, what actually happened was Milio Frito actually made his tempered large box. So looks like it's rounding up to potentially being a great time for a new tempered deployable to come out. Why? Because if you recall, tempered deployables was selling for like $5 a piece, weren't they? Close to around that price. Where are we? Yeah. So this sold for $4 and sold quite a lot. And there's a very good potential chance that we will see the large box, if it gets accepted, selling for around $5 as well. And if we do see many sales happening, then there's going to be a lot of profits to be made. And with it being the first wipe day of all of 2023, I do expect a lot of people to be jumping in and playing, and I wouldn't be surprised if this next week's Rustle rotation, the first Rustle rotation of 2023, I wouldn't be surprised if they held back a bunch of skins purely so they can do a really interesting, very nice looking Rustle rotation for next week. So you got the likes of potentially seeing a tempered deployable. There's also a consideration we might probably see the likes of Elite Crate Tier 2 being accepted, because that was submitted just this week as well. And when that was submitted, loads of people noticed, loads of people jumped in and bought out the Tier 3 because they noticed, right, hang on a minute, if that Tier 2, if that kilt gets accepted, if the Elite Crate kilt gets accepted, this is going to go up in price. I should probably buy some right now. So speculation purchases have been made. If we do see the Elite Crate Tier 2 being accepted next week, the reactionary nature of the Rust economy, these will jump up in price. So speculation purchases have happened for both these and Elite Crate. Pizzeria Furnace got stronger because we saw more pizza skins. Life is pretty good. Unfortunately, not for an AK and not for an LR300. So, yep. Gentlemen, I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. I hope you've been selling a lot of skins and enjoying yourselves in regards to that. I've tried my best to keep you all informed with all of my videos over the past few days. I've been selling so many skins so far. As I've been keeping track since November 28 to now, I've made like $8,000 worth of sales. No word of a lie, that's what's happened. And it's only going to continue for another 10 to 14 days. So I hope you're enjoying yourselves, I hope you had fun, and I hope you consider making some long-term investments now of your profits. To learn more about that, please consider watching this post-Christmas 2022 strategy for long-term investing video. I put it up yesterday and I'm pretty sure that'll help you out. So thank you all for watching, I greatly appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely 2023. Best of luck to you. Have fun trading, have fun making profits, and we've got a whole another year ahead of us. Will we see some very interesting skins? Well, skin creators, better get working. So yeah, thank you all, and thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it.